I think we are live. If you are watching this on the replay, welcome. Actually, it's like crooked. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about dream recall and dream journaling on my Instagram for the next month, all of May 2022. I am talking about how to begin and how to craft your own dream work practice. So, this is the beginning. On Monday, I talked about 3 ways to use dream work for personal development. Today, I am going to be talking about dream recall and dream journaling. I actually wrote a lot of information, like a lot of notes for this. So, this may be divided into multiple parts. So, preemptively, I have titled this video Dream Recall and Dream Journaling Part 1. So hopefully it should take me no more than 3 sections, but I'm gonna try to really squish it into 2. So if you do not have the workbook for this evening, I will put that link in the description box. We are going to be using the Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming workbook from the from the Masterclass series that is the same title. I will put both of those in the description box. I'm used to being on Instagram. I'll put them both in the description box. So if you want to grab those, you can work through the information. The workbook actually comes as a bundle. So it comes with 2 workbooks. The Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming workbook. It is a workbook, a fillable PDF. It's beautifully designed. And it's going to have all of your how-tos, your daily reading materials, your explanations, journaling prompts, self-exploration exercises. In most of the workbooks, there are also links to external resources and things like that. And the second workbook in the bundle is called Dreamwork for Personal Development. So it's going to guide you through some practices. It's actually going to give you some practices and some techniques and some things to think about to actually use in the dream world or in your dream practice. In this series, though, we are going to be actually talking about how to set up your own practice. And and of course, since I'm doing this for the entire month, I'm gonna be doing this in detail. Sorry, I'm trying to actually pull the workbook up myself and also pull up the workshop on my computer. That way I can see questions as you all ask questions. But in the meantime, in between time, once again, this is allowing you time to get that. If you are watching this in a timely manner, around the time I'm putting this out, May 2022, I have lowered the workbook from $22.22 to $15.15. So you're gonna get both of those for the $15.15. And the series, actually wrong document, the series, the Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming for Personal Development series, this is going to be a little bit different. They both are, of course, are geared towards Dreamwork, this series and the Masterclass series. The Masterclass series really is geared towards helping people achieve lucidity. So it does, of course, go very deep into detail on dream work and non-lucid practices. But the whole goal, I guess you could really say, of that masterclass series was to teach people how to become lucid in their dreams and how to use their lucid dreams for personal development. Now, of course, along your journey towards lucidity, if you are interested in lucid dreaming and dream yoga, of course, you're going to have tons and tons of non-lucid dreams. So that is not something that we can, ever throw away. And it's not something that we should ever throw away. We really want to respect both parts of the dream world, our lucid dreams and our non-lucid dreams. The masterclass series is going to have more than 10 hours worth of content and information. It's also automatically going to come with both of those workbooks. And there is a link inside of the masterclass in one of the modules to actually join my Dreamwork group on Facebook. It is a private group where I will periodically hold one-off workshops or master classes. I will leave tips and tutorials and how-tos in there. And also don't forget to find me on Facebook just in general. If you are interested in what I do here, I have a Facebook group called the HIYERAlignment community. So higher spelled the same way, HIYER stands for the holistic inspiration for your empowerment and revolution. So go ahead and join me on Facebook as well. I have my tea ready. Hello, welcome, 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 everyone. Hopefully, I have given you all enough time to go ahead and get settled yourself. Go ahead and pull up your workbook. We are going to be using the Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming workbook. So, just that first one. And once again, we have a lot of information to get through. Let me give you the page in the workbook. It's going to begin on page 7. So go ahead and turn to page 7 in the workbook. In the meantime, in between time, let me go ahead and go through housekeeping really, really quickly, okay? So for those of you who are here live, of course, my housekeeping item number one, as always, is going to be interaction. As I'm going through the content and the information this evening, please feel free to interact with me. If you have any questions, comments, experiences, go ahead and drop those in the comment section. You all know that this is a safe space and a safe place where we all come to do our personal development work. So if I say something that you don't understand, or if you have something that you really want to ask about, do not be afraid to drop that into the comment section. My second housekeeping item, as always, is going to be sharing is caring. Just like you are trying to grow, I too am trying to grow. And I would so appreciate your support in my personal development endeavor if you would share this video. So if you know someone who likes lucid dreaming, who likes dream work, or who is interested in diving into this type of work, go ahead and share this video with them, okay? My third housekeeping item is my text list. So on Instagram, I'm allowed to pin a comment. So typically I will pin the information for my text list. But let me make sure this is muted. I typically will send out notifications 10 to 15 minutes before I go live. So those of you all who are on my text list, you get those. That way you don't miss out on anything. It also, I will send out links to like external resources. I will put together freebies for you, all of that good stuff, okay? So if you want to join my text list, all you have to do is text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Okay. So I kind of talked about the workbook and the masterclass. Also for the freebie for this evening, if you go to my easytree.me/hire, that's what it is for right now. Who knows what it could be in the future. I always try to have free resources there for you. So, once again, check the description box. Right now you can get chapter 1 of the intro workbook, the workbook that we're going to be going through this evening. Now, chapter 1 does not include the section that we're going through. It includes the section that we went through on Monday on Instagram. And I am also thinking about pulling all of the live workshops that I'm going to be doing and creating its own course, separate course, just called Beginning Your Dream Work Practice or something like that. So if I do that, then you will see that all of the information is in there as well. So, we'll see how that goes. But day 1 on Monday was covered under basically chapter 1 of the workbook. So I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and dive in. If you're watching this on the replay and you don't know who I am, allow me to briefly introduce myself. My name is Aaron. I am a certified life coach, mindfulness and meditation practitioner, and mindset guru. I'm here to give you the tips, tools, and techniques that you can use in order to create a positive shift and transformation in your life. All the month of May 2022, I'm going to be talking about beginning your dream work practice and basically how to use dream work for personal development. I'm not really going to be diving that deep into lucidity. I have tons of resources on lucidity, but I just wanted to talk about a dream work practice in general, no matter what your dream work practice looks like, or beginning your dream work practice, how to develop it, how to develop the necessary skills, what are you supposed to do. So over the next month, once again, I'm going to be, diving into the nitty gritty and talking about this. Tonight, I wanted to talk about dream recall and dream journaling. Of course, on your dream work journey, you're going to need dream recall. I mean, let's just be honest. You're not going to be able to really engage in dream work if you don't remember your dreams. And for many people that have issues remembering their dreams. And that's for a variety of purposes and a variety of reasons. And we're going to be talking about that tonight and probably next week. I'm going to be giving you tips, exercises, practices, all of that to get the juices flowing and to allow you to develop your dream recall, okay? So really, I've broken this down into 3 different sections: negative habits, positive habits, and then I also wanted to include herbs. I could include herbs and other types of tools, but just for the practicality's sake, I'm really only going to be talking about herbs in that 3rd section, because I think herbs are going to be more easily accessible for most people versus like sleep masks and electronic sleep masks and just other types of things. So I am going to be diving into that too towards the end of this. But let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start with negative habits first. So I know it may be a little counterintuitive, but overall, personal development really deals with the habits that we have, the patterns of behavior that we have that make up our lifestyle. And when we want to really accomplish a goal or accomplish a task or learn how to do something new, we should always really be looking at our habits. And one of the best things that we can do is to stop doing the things that are actually not helping us. So, of course, dream recall is the ability to recall or remember your dreams. That should be easy. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. So, from page 7 of the workbook, I am going to read just a little bit about this first part. Dream recall is going to be the number 1 skill that you will need. If you cannot remember your dreams, then you cannot do dream work. You cannot have lucid dreams. You cannot practice dream or sleep yoga. The best thing that you can do in order to begin increasing your dream recall is to keep a dream journal, which of course I'm going to be talking to you about in detail. Each evening before bed, you want to prepare your dream journal, perhaps even reread the previous night's dream. You also want to set an intention to remember your dream by telling yourself something like, the next time I wake up, I will remember my dreams. Even if you don't remember any images or scenes, you can write down how you feel or any vague sensations that show up for you. This will begin to bridge the gap between the waking and the dreaming states. When keeping a dream journal, and I'm going to just read this from the workbook, and then when we get to the dream journaling section, I'm going to dive into this a little bit deeper. When keeping a dream journal, be sure to include important notes such as a title for your dream, the date, any emotions you experience, perhaps even what you learned from the dream or how you will honor your dream. When we write what we learn from the dream and how we will honor the dream, this thins the veil between the dream state and the waking state, allowing experiences to permeate back and forth. And dream experiences and waking experiences do actually permeate that veil. So if you think about when you've woken up from a dream, whether you remember it or not, sometimes you wake up with an energy of that dream. So say you were having an angry dream. Sometimes you wake up angry and you're on the wrong side of the bed. Say you wake up from a sexual dream. Many of us have sexual dreams where you may wake up and you may be in a particularly sexual mood right in the morning. Also think about that the other way. Trying to think of examples too while I'm talking. Think about this the opposite way. Things that happen to you throughout the day begin to seep into your dream time experiences. You see those same images and those same situations and the same people that you were around in the waking state. That energy flows into the dream state and it creates dream material. So let me go back to the workbook. Permeate back and forth. If you wake up and do not remember any dreams, you will still need to write in your dream journal. You can write, I did not remember any dreams, but tonight I will remember my dreams. In the beginning, you may only have vague feelings, emotions, or even a random fleeting memory. Whatever comes up, even if it isn't complete, it isn't a complete narrative or story, write it down. There are many types of dreams. You want to begin becoming familiar with the inner workings of your mind and your different dream experiences. As time progresses, your dream recall will increase. This could take as little as a week. You could begin remembering multiple vivid dreams per night. And these practices, honestly, if you just engage in the practice of dream journaling, I think within 2 weeks, if you do it diligently, and follow the instructions in this video, you will be able to remember multiple dreams per night, in a short amount of time. Perfect. So let me go back to my notes, and I'm going to talk to you about negative habits. I'm like, oh, I know I have my Tibetan bowl. So, our first, I have 6 negative habits. I also don't have my glasses on. So, if you ever see me squinting at the screen, that's the reason why I'm supposed to wear glasses and I don't wear them, so I can't see anything. But let's talk about our first negative habit. So, the first negative habit that I have for you is going to be intoxication. And I know this may be a very sensitive topic for many people. I talked about this in a shorter YouTube video called The 4 Habits That Are Killing Your Dream Practice. And I briefly talked about this on Instagram as well. And I see this all the time. I see this question in forums. I see people asking me these questions personally or bringing it up in workshops. I hear, people asking on Instagram Live or just talking about it. And that is the topic of cannabis and dream recall. Are you going to be able to practice lucid dreaming, or are you going to be able to practice dream work if you are smoking cannabis? Some people say that, I smoke cannabis and I remember my dreams. Okay. Well, even science studies have shown that THC has a negative effect. Hello, Jasmine. Has a negative effect on our REM stage of sleep. It can either suppress the REM stage of sleep, which is what I really think that it does. And also remember, THC and cannabis does affect the short term memory. And really, what we're trying to exercise really is our short term memory, remembering what we were just doing a few moments ago when we were sleeping or when we were in that dream state. So, also the same thing applies to alcohol. Excessive alcohol drinking like that right before bed is definitely going to negatively impact your dream recall. There are people, once again, who say, they can have some drinks, and they still remember their dreams. So to both of those, what I would say is, for some people, it's different strokes for different folks. However, I do honestly believe that there is nothing like the clarity and the focus of your dreams when you are sober. So even if you are smoking or even if you are drinking and you are able to remember your dreams, if you stop smoking and stop drinking, even if you want to just do that temporarily, I mean, just being real, in your dream work journey, there are going to be times when you are heavily practicing dream work and times when you're not heavily practicing dream work. Clearly, if you are a dream work practitioner and this practice calls to you, then you know that there is a balance that must be maintained. And for us onironauts, that's what people who explore dreams, like astronauts, people who explore out of outer space. Onironauts are people who explore their dreams. But if you are an onironaut, that these practices do impact our waking state. Like if you're practicing lucid dreaming and you're practicing wake back to bed, then multiple nights per week, you may be getting up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to do your practices and go back to sleep. After a while, that does impact your waking state and your restfulness. So sometimes you can't do that. We're doing reality checks throughout the day. Once again, you may be practicing mindfulness meditation or doing a lot of these other conjunctive practices that aid your dream work. So this does impact our day to day. So, there may be times in life where you want to heavily practice dream work and then you just have other things going on. So, going with the ebbs and flows of life. But intoxication is going to be one of the main, like, a very strong habit, a habit that is going to strongly affect your dream recall in a negative way. I was just about to say something else as well. I forgot, but maybe it will come back to me. It was regarding intoxication and dream recall. I don't remember what it was, but hopefully it will come back to me. So let's go ahead and move on to my second negative habit. The second negative habit that I have for you is going to be called wake centricity. And this is a term that I believe was coined by Andrew Hollowcheck. If I got that incorrect, you can, correct me in the comment section. But he was the first person who I ever heard use this term. But there are different ways of relating to different states of consciousness from a societal perspective and a cultural perspective. In Western society, we are really indoctrinated into this way of experiencing life that we really only validate the waking state of consciousness. We feel like if it doesn't happen in the waking state, then it's not real. And there are other cultures around the world that just do not have the same perspective of reality. Many of them value the dream state more, or even other states like the dreamless sleep state, or even things like there are other states of consciousness like the hypnopompic state, the state between waking and sleeping. We're falling asleep. The brain is not completely asleep, but it's definitely not awake. So you are experiencing, maybe seeing the room around you, but you also have this experience of the dream world, where the dream world is very emotionally and thought responsive. So, think about kids, they're in their room and it's dark and they think they see like a monster over in the corner, but it's really, clothes, a pile of clothes or the laundry basket. But because the dream responds to what you think and what you feel, you're kind of getting both of those worlds in this state, the hypnopompic state, or the hypnagogic state, which is leading into sleep, and the hypnopompic state, which is leading out of sleep. Let me see. And if anyone has any questions about any of this, just let me know. I'm just going to keep on rolling. Um, so wake centricity is really identifying solely with the waking state and really downplaying those other states of consciousness like they're not important. And you can see this that we often hear, like a kid will wake up in the middle of the night and go to see their parents, because they had a nightmare. And the mom will say, "Oh, honey, go back to bed. It was just a dream." It was just a dream. This is a thought or a belief that stems from wake centricity. So really, if you want to develop your dream recall and you really want to dive deeper into dream practices, it's really important for you to respect what happens in the dream world. And what I mean by that is realizing that both experiences in the dream state and experiences in the waking state are both valid experiences. In fact, from the brain's perspective, the brain cannot tell the difference between an experience that you had while you were awake or while you were asleep. That's why you still get those bodily responses and those somatic sensations. Say you in a dream, you were being chased, you were being hunted, it was a nightmare, and the dream ends really abruptly right as the person or the killer or the monster is right upon you, and then you wake up in a panic and your heart is beating and you may be sweating or you may be panting, because the neurons in the brain are still firing the exact same way in either the waking state or the sleeping state. So for the brain, there is no difference. It's all the same. And that's another reason why, on a positive note, we can use dream work and use lucid dreaming for our personal development. Because if you were there on Monday on Instagram when I talked about the 3 ways to use dream work for personal development, let's pick one of them, like learning new skills and abilities. Well, this happens because of the exact same thing, because the brain can't tell the difference between the waking state and the dreaming state. So when you are lucid in your dreams and you are practicing those skills, say you're a dancer and you are practicing dancing that routine, or you're a musician and you're practicing for your recital, or you're an athlete and you're practicing whatever your sport is or whatever your skill is, the brain responds in the exact same way. And then you wake up and you find that you can do those skills easier, that you remember more, that the movement is more ingrained into the body, is more integrated. So it's for the same reason. So if you really want to develop your dream recall and you want to dive deeper into dream practice and dream work, then I do think that it's important to kind of shake loose of this limiting belief. You know, we talk a lot about limiting beliefs here on the higher alignment, and this one, that only the experiences in the waking state are valid, is going to be one that you want to let go. And this is going to loosen up unconscious material, and show the unconscious mind, okay, well, dreams and dream work are very important to this individual. So the mind is going to give a little bit more of its energy and devote that to placing an emphasis and a priority on those dreams and the vividness of the dreams, and also help you to remember those dreams. Okay, does anybody have any questions about anything that we've gone over so far? If you do, go ahead and drop those in the comment section. If you don't, then we're going to just continue on. Okay, so my third habit, the third negative habit that I have for you, that you know you really want to think about and consider for beginning your dream practice and dream recall. And this is going to be not keeping a dream journal. And of course, we're going to dive deeper into this. We're going to dive deeper into this and when we get to positive habits. But not keeping a dream journal. A dream journal is one of the best things that you can do for the dream practice. Now, there are other techniques, and maybe in the future I will make a video on other techniques for dream recall outside of dream journaling. But I'm just going to let you know that I feel like dream journaling is the gold standard for many reasons. And the main reason is not only that it helps you develop dream recall, but it also allows you to keep track of the dream material and the psychic material, so that you can go back and look through what happened and find commonalities and find similarities. And really, if you make a dream goal for yourself, you'll be able to track the progress of your goal and how that is going. If you are doing dream interpretation, well, clearly those symbols and the metaphors and the images of the dream are going to be important, and you really want to know that, you know, the character was wearing a red shirt versus the character was wearing a blue shirt, and I'm just putting a blue shirt on them because I can't actually remember what color shirt they wore, so I'm just going to say it's a blue shirt. You know, like, those details matter. And when you are deep into dream work, you're going to want to go back and review those dreams. I have 20, 30 dream journals over the years that I, you know, have written in and have developed. And I will still go back. Sometimes I will have a dream that's just like, I had a lucid dream where I met a dream guide. And it was not my first time meeting this dream guide, but I met them a year earlier. And I thought that I had the dream that same year, but come to find out I didn't. That dream was from a previous year. And so I went back and I was able to find that exact dream where I met that dream figure who ended up being a dream guide for me. So, you know, if you keep a dream journal and you keep it in a diligent, really purposeful way, then you will be able to go back and use that dream material and use that content for other purposes, as well as, of course, dream journaling, increasing your dream recall, increasing and improving your dream recall. So let me just see. I'm switching the screen back and forth to see if I see any questions. I don't. Okay, so I don't see any questions. If you have any questions, make sure to drop those in the comment section. I will be sure to answer them, but we will just keep on moving forward. So let's talk about the next negative habit number 4. So this one, and here, you know, over this video and hopefully the next video, you'll be able to put together everything that you really need to do to increase your dream recall and improve your dream recall. But it will, you know, coalesce and come together as we go through all of the information. But number 4 is going to be body movement. And you may be wondering what this is. So clearly, let's talk a little bit about dream recall. You know, you're going to wake up in the morning or wake up whenever you're waking up. If you are practicing wake back to bed, or perhaps you're going to be practicing lucid dreaming, know that wake back to bed is when you wake up in one of your later REM stages of sleep. So this is probably going to be about 4.5 hours or 6 hours after you go to sleep. And you're going to wake up and you're going to write down your dreams. This is really the beginning portion of mild mnemonic induced lucid dreaming technique or wild wake induced lucid dreaming technique that is often combined with wake back to bed, WBTB. You'll often see it as abbreviated as wake back to bed, WBTB. But in either case, you're waking up, and many times you will find that when you move your physical body after you have awoken from a dream, this is going to quickly make the dream fade. Moving the body is pulling the mind body system, because they are a system. It pulls it more into this waking state of consciousness. It really shifts the brain wave pattern, or there's a correlation between that brainwave pattern shifting and that moving of the body, and the pulling of the awareness back into the waking state. And that tends to make us not remember what just happened in the dream. So one of the best things that you can do is to resolve not to move when you wake up. It may take some time of doing this or reminding yourself, but you really want to remind yourself during the night or before you go to bed, hey, the next time I wake up, I'm going to lay still. I'm not going to move my body. And then over time, you will find that you will wake up. You will be able to know that you're awake, but you don't move your body and you're just laying there. And then you can ask yourself questions like, who was I just with? Where was I just at? What was I just doing? My solfeggio frequencies. Let's see. Coming right back. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. Let me fast forward this because there's talking. And then I will. And once again, if you have any questions while I'm fixing my solfeggio frequencies for my background music, gotta make sure my vibe is right, like I really do. I need that while I am talking to you all. But if you have any questions, drop those in the comment section and I will be sure to answer. Okay, let's see. Sorry about that. We were talking about body movement. Okay, yes. So when you wake up, you just want to resolve not to move your body and to remember your dreams. And if you have moved your body, then what you can do is simply shift your body back into the position that you were in before you moved it. Shift your body back into the position that you were in when you woke up. And you may not immediately get it back, but when you do this, shift your body back and relax. You can deliberately ask yourself those same questions. Where was I just at? Who was I just with? What was I just doing? You can ask yourself those questions, but sometimes you just need to shift the body back into position and kind of just be open and relax into it, and then the memories will come back. If you just find that there's just one little thing that comes back, that's okay. Just keep with that and kind of milk it, and sometimes that will allow more of the dream to come back. I think I saw a question come through. What if my alarm goes off? Do I turn it off after I wake up? Yes, if your alarm goes off, I would just say that. The alarm going off, if you don't turn it off, that's going to disturb you even more, and that's not going to help. So if your alarm is next to your bed, just turn your alarm off. Like, hopefully you can roll over, turn it off, and just roll back into that position. And if you can make that a smooth transition, then you might not even really notice a loss of dream recall. And then honestly, over a period of a week or maybe 2 weeks of you doing this and just having this intention of remembering your dreams, even the shifting of your body, over time that becomes less of an issue. Really, it's really only an issue I find in for beginners, like when you're really beginning. Now, not saying that it couldn't affect anyone in their journey, but it just has a tendency to lose that over time. As you strengthen your dream recall, the shifting of or the moving of your body does not impact your ability to remember your dreams. It's easy for me to fall asleep, but staying asleep is my main issue. And we're gonna talk about sleep hygiene. I think that's on my list. It might be the next one. Oh, it's actually the last one. So I'll give you some tips on sleep hygiene. But for people who have sleep issues are divided into those into multiple areas. So there are people who have trouble falling asleep, but once they fall asleep, they can stay asleep. And there's also people who are able to fall asleep, but then they're not able to stay asleep. And then I'm pretty sure there are people who just have issues falling asleep and staying asleep. So it could be one or the other or both. When we get to sleep hygiene, we'll talk about that. But if anybody has any questions on the first four, so number one was intoxication, either, smoking cannabis or having alcohol. That's going to be a negative habit. Wake centricity is going to be our second negative habit. Not keeping a dream journal is going to be our third negative habit. Our fourth negative habit is going to be body movement. And now let's go ahead and move on to our fifth one. So our fifth negative habit is going to be eating heavy, fatty, or sugary meals before bed. So the body really wants to conserve its energy. It wants to use its energy efficiently. And if you eat, this is very simple. Not even that much to say about it. If you eat heavy, sugary, fatty meals before bed, then your body's going to spend more time digesting that food, and it's just not going to have the energy to devote towards like processing memories, and processing information, turning short-term memories into long-term memories, which is also what happens when we are sleeping. So that's going to impact us. And how many times have you ever, I noticed for me personally, if I eat chocolate before bed, I'm going to have like a very weird, crazy dream. I'm not sure if I'm the only one. I don't think that I am, but maybe if there are other people who don't feel like, who feel like commenting, do you all ever notice that you have a crazy dream if you eat a certain food or eat a certain way before bed? Eating does impact your dreams as well as your emotional state, what you did throughout the day, your focuses, your intentions, and even your health. The health of the body impacts the dreams as well. So this one is our fifth negative habit: eating heavy, fatty, or sugary meals before bed. You want to try to eat at least, don't eat like an hour before bed. Try to eat like have a 2 hour gap between when you eat and when you go to bed. That's going to help a lot. So let's go ahead and get into number 6, because this is one that you all brought up. Poor sleep hygiene is going to be our sixth negative habit. Now, not saying, just because people brought this up about falling asleep and staying asleep, not saying that this is absolutely going to cure your problems, or this is the root issue of your problem of not being able to stay asleep. But what you can do is just begin to clean your act up. If you know that you really want to dive into Dreamwork, if you want to dive into lucid dreaming, if you really want to do these practices, then I would highly suggest that sleep hygiene be a top priority on your list, because once again, it's just going to add to the stability and the effectiveness of your practice. So sleep hygiene is really going to be the habits that we engage in before we go to sleep. So just a few of them off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure a lot of us know about the blue light. So blue light comes from our phones, our computers, the TVs, the laptops, the tablets. All of these devices emit blue light, and blue light is the spectrum, is the section of light on the spectrum that we really experience in the morning. It tells our brains to wake up. So when we're looking at these devices, it's actually stimulating our brain to wake up instead of going to sleep. One thing that you can do is you can just limit your time on your devices before bed. And I know a lot of people don't like that, just like they probably don't like the intoxication one that I brought up. I know those are touchy subjects, but it is what it is. You can either limit the blue light. You can, sometimes your devices have like an evening setting. You can turn that on. You'll see that the screen kind of has an orangish glow to it. If you're familiar with the color wheel, then on the color wheel, orange is opposite of blue. So if you're seeing orange, then it's filtering out that blue light. There are also blue light blocking glasses that you can find on Amazon, and some of them are clear, but some of them in fact are orange, and you can wear those around the house. Yes, you will look crazy, but you know, if dreams and dream work are important to you, then you know, it won't really matter. You'll do what you need to do to increase your dream recall, improve your dream recall. Other things that you can do, just like we said before, avoid eating heavily before bed, or eating sugary or fatty meals before bed. You also want to lower the temperature in your home. The body naturally needs to lower its temperature in order to go to sleep. And I believe this is due to the adrenal glands. When the body's temperature is lower, that signals to the adrenal glands. I believe it's going to be the pituitary gland, and the pineal gland, to secrete these hormones, like we know the hormone melatonin, that will make us fall asleep. And the other thing that affects that is the light. The light, especially for the pineal gland. The pineal gland senses the light. So you want to make sure that you have like blackout curtains, or you're sleeping in, basically sleeping in a cool, dark room. That is definitely going to help you fall asleep. So what I will do, honestly, I like the temperature in my home to be pretty warm. I like it a very nice Hawaii in my home. You know, I like it to be very tropical in my home during the daytime. But in the evening, I do need it to be nice and cool, because dream practices are clearly my zhuzh, my thing. That's what I like to do. So I will typically drop the temperature in my home at least 4 degrees. So maybe 2 hours before bed, I will turn the thermostat down two notches, and then you know, an hour before bed I will turn it down another 2 notches. And even if I feel like it's still not cool enough, because I like it to be cool when I go to sleep, because I like to sleep under a lot of covers. But once again, if it's too hot, then I can't sleep. So even if it still isn't cool enough, I will turn it down 2 more notches and then get in the bed. Okay. Let me read a comment. How does caffeine affect things? Yes, so caffeine, contrary to what people believe, caffeine doesn't make you more awake, it makes you more alert. So, these effects and the somatic sensations can be very similar. But I mean, honestly, if you are really, really tired and you drink coffee, you notice that the coffee doesn't actually make the fatigue just magically poof and disappear. It does make the brain more alert. So now you're kind of fatigued but alert. But caffeine definitely is gonna, you know, impact your sleep. And of course, this is gonna be different from person to person. So, you know, if you are a person who already has issues going to sleep or falling asleep and staying asleep, then you may want to, of course, limit your caffeine. So you want to play around this with this yourself. So maybe this means not drinking any caffeine after noon. Maybe this means, even if your body is, if you drink your last, you know, drink or consume coffee, or you know, pop, or you know, I call it pop, some people call it soda, a Red Bull, whatever it is that you're doing, you know, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Say, you know, you say, you know what, I'm going to test this out, and really that's what you're going to have to do. And this is a part of your dream work practice, you know, testing things out to see how it affects you. Only you are going to know. um but say in the beginning stages of your dream work practice, maybe that's where you are now, you're working on your dream recall and falling asleep, just these basic, you notice that you're having some issues here and that you drink a lot of caffeine. You say, okay, you know what, I'm going to stop drinking caffeine at noon. So at noon, 12 noon, I'm not going to have any more caffeine. See how that affects you for 3 4 days. If you find that it's affecting you a little bit more, you know, a little bit less, and you're able to fall asleep easier, but you're still having issues, maybe you need to stop drinking caffeine at 11 or 10 a.m. So, you know, you're going to need to adjust that. But I think we all, you know, it's a fairly common, it's common knowledge that caffeine affects your sleep. So you definitely just, you know, want to not just know that, but act on that. If you know that you drink a lot of caffeine, if you know that caffeine is a concern for you, and if you know that you are having issues with dream recall or falling asleep or staying asleep, then you know you want to do self exploration. You know, I talk about that here on Higher Alignment all the time. Many times I'm giving you self exploration activities and journaling prompts and things like that. But self exploration isn't all about journaling prompts. And even when we do those journaling prompts, it's hopefully, you know, I don't want to say it's expected, but it's expected that you would follow up that knowledge with actual action, okay? Taking action. So let's go back. So those are my 6 negative habits. Intoxication, so either smoking cannabis or drinking alcohol. Wake centricity, not keeping a dream journal. Body movement, eating heavy, fatty, or sugary meals before bed. And poor sleep hygiene, which I talked just a little bit about sleep hygiene. Maybe I'll make a more in-depth video about sleep hygiene in the future. But once again, we have a little bit of time left, so I'm going to go ahead and go on to our positive habits, because remember, I also want to talk about herbs that can help you with dream recall. But let's talk about positive habits, okay? So let's do our first positive habit. Our first positive habit, and really this is going to be the strongest one. It's simple, very, very simple. It's the strongest one, and it really is the one that underpins all of the other ones. And this is going to simply be intention. If you have a strong intention to remember your dreams, you're going to remember your dreams. And even we have things like, I know people may be on this video watching because you are practicing lucid dreaming and you're trying to get there with lucidity, get to where you want to be with lucidity. You hear about things like way back to bed and mild and wild and senses induced lucid dreams and all of these, you know, techniques. Really, the number one technique is intention. You know, I pull a lot from Bun Buddhism or Tibetan Buddhism, which has an emphasis on these, what are called skillful means, which we can think of them as just techniques. And there are skillful means for all sorts of walks and interests and different things. And there's a large set of them geared towards dreamwork and lucid dreaming. But all of the skillful means, so things like mild technique or wild technique, wake back to bed, these are all just that. They are just techniques. And it said that a person of high means, high ability, would just really need the intention of becoming lucid, or the intention of remembering their dreams, or the intention to do anything, and they would be able to do that, you know, not necessarily needing the techniques or the skillful means. Of course, I'm going to be giving you techniques, I'm going to be giving you skillful means, but the thing that I really want you to take away from this, and it's not something that I can really overemphasize. I know people honestly are going to forget all about this or skip this over or think that it's boring or not relevant, but it absolutely is. And it really is, like, it's the thing. Your intention is everything. You'll even find that the other tips and the tools that I'm going to give you, you can do them, but if you don't have a strong intention, then it still may not work for you. Just like saying affirmations are one of the things on my list. You may tell yourself, okay, tonight I'm going to remember my dreams. But if you're just paying lip service to that and you really don't have a strong intention, then you could be saying anything. It doesn't really matter, you know. So the intention is what matters. So make sure that you have a strong intention. And one way that you can do this, if you find that you don't, is really just to ask yourself, why do I want to engage in dream work? What do I want to gain from this? What do I think that I will be able to do or accomplish from this practice? And that was one of the self-exploration prompts I asked you in the first video. And actually, I'm going to be uploading that video. So I will upload that video here on Instagram. And it is called 3 Ways to Use Dreamwork for Personal Development. So if you're watching this video, you know, live or in the future, just know that I will upload that one next week. So that you have the first 2 videos. And if you find that you want to continue on in this series of beginning and developing and crafting your own dream work practice, then once I get things more settled with all of the content and everything like that, then of course I'll go back and update the description boxes in all of the videos. So that was number 1, dream intention. And you know, the next one that I have is dream journaling. And because we really only have 10 minutes left, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to save it for the next one, just so that I don't rush through it. I don't want to rush through it. I have many different tips and things to give you regarding dream journaling and really how to do it and how to do it effectively. So I want to give this this tip, it's due diligence, and so I don't want to rush through that. So I'm going to just leave it up for a moment to see if anyone has any questions. If you have any questions, drop those in the comment section. If not, that's perfectly okay, but I do want to open the floor in case anyone has any questions for anything that we have gone over. So next Wednesday, I will review other positive habits. We'll talk about dream journaling, I'll talk about other positive habits, and then I'll spend about 5 or 10 minutes at the end on dream herbs. I am not seeing any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed this content and this information, and you want to learn more about dream work and lucid dreaming or metaphysics, specifically as it relates to personal development, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can get notifications on all future videos. You can follow me on Instagram at HIYERAlignment, same name. Right now, I am still doing weekly free personal development workshops. I give you metaphysical tips and techniques as well. And then if you would like, you can also join the HIYERAlignment community on Facebook. This is a private Facebook group where I, will put updates and just where we can just have a more intimate community. I encourage people to speak and engage and interact with one another and share resources and videos and things that they find interesting. Once again, of course, relating back to metaphysics and personal development. So I'm going to go ahead and head out of here, and I will see you all next Wednesday for part 2 of this video, where I will continue on. We'll start off with dream journaling. I'll talk about other positive habits that increase your dream recall, and then we will finish up with some herbs, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and head out of here, and you all have a wonderful rest of your evening.